Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jonas, and today I will be ranking every single Zelda game. Well, most of them, I think most of them. Maybe not all the spin-offs. No, and not all the versions, but most of the games I will be ranking today. And this is really scary for me because I really love The Legend of Zelda, and I haven't even made up my own mind yet. I haven't even thought about it. Just because I wanted to do this video, I just decided I'm going to blind react to the games and just rank them how I feel. And I don't think I'm really ready to admit to myself how I feel about them, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of worried, but it's gonna be fine. And on purpose, I want to kind of space the ranking out as much as possible so it's not all S, because trust me, I could put most of them in A and S, I think. But they need to be spaced out. Okay, let's have a look at the ranking. Let's have a look at the categories. Okay, so we have number 1 here is S. And it is the Triforce, of course. It has to be the Triforce. It's the ultimate power. It's the best thing in the world. I mean, it's basically what all the games are centered around. So, what more can you want than the Triforce? I think, yeah. S tier, Triforce. Let's go to A tier here. So, the A tier is beating Ganon in Wind Waker. And if you remember, in Wind Waker, you plunged your sword right in his skull, and it's just the most satisfying moment. So A for me is it's just so good. It's just so satisfying. It's just amazing. It's not quite S, because you're still killing someone, you're still someone, but you are, in the end of the day, it is really good, right? So let's move on to B, which is riding Epona in any game. So don't get me wrong, I know that you're gonna get angry because of course Epona is amazing. And Epona is an S tier horse. I mean, she's kind of the only really named horse. But she is an S tier horse, a horsey girl. Epona, she's my girl. I love Epona. Especially as a child, Epona was I imagined having my own Epona. But the reason why it's B is that riding her in any game is not really that useful. In Ocarina of Time, it's useful because you need it to, move forward in the game. But it's not really that useful. In Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, I feel like I don't really use a horse at all because I have so many other ways of getting around. So yeah, so B is it's really fun. It's really, really fun, and she's so cute. The game is cute, but it's not really it's not that useful. It's not something I need to play all the time, if that makes sense. Okay, let's go over to C. C is waiting for the next Zelda game. So the idea that there is going to be one in the future is amazing, but the wait is horrible. So this is C is a category of good and bad, both sides, in the middle, don't know, kind of not that great of an experience waiting, but the end would be great. So there's a lot of potential here. That's what C is, a lot of potential, but not really living up to the potential. Okay. D is the toilet hand in Majora's Mask. The toilet hand is weird. It's funny, but it's also kind of gross. I think you need to think D as if you were the toilet hand. That's not so fun. It's it's fun to be Link and just give some toilet paper, but being the toilet hand, could you imagine? It's not exactly something that I would sign up for, so it's D. So it's the worst normal category. And then we go to F, and the F is the CDI games. They get their own category. How great. You know, they just get that category. They don't even have to be judged. They have their own home. They belong in F. I don't need to talk about them. They know where they belong. They can just go there by themselves. F, that's my house. That's where I belong. It's the name is on the category, you know? And I don't believe that there's any other. I mean, could you imagine if any other game had to share with the CDI games? I doubt it, but we'll see. And then we have the final one, which didn't play, which is not that many, but it's like in the list here, there are a few games that I don't think I could really play, and some that are not really Zelda, like they're not like official, or they're official, but they're not in the timeline. You'll see when I show the list. And I'll show the list right now. We'll go straight into it. So let's see. Boom. Do we have it? Yes, we have it here. Okay, nice. So, I've seen here that I didn't make the list here. So I want to shuffle them around a bit, I think, because I feel like I see, for example, the Oracle of Ages and Seasons are really close to each other, and I don't like that because I don't want to talk about them in the same breath. Let's see. I'm trying to just like organize them around, not in a particular order. I don't really know. I don't want to know what is my first game and what is my last game, you know? Let's try it. Let's do this. Okay, I think we're done. I don't want. Okay, so I saw that Majora's was at number 1. I don't want to do Majora's as number 1. It's too difficult. Am I just stalling for time because it's difficult? I think that's the case. Okay, this is going to be the first one. I'm going to do a random one as the first one. Let's see. Oh, easy. This was easy. So I'm just going to put that straight and didn't play. So this is one of the Tingle games, and I just haven't played them. I think, if I remember correctly, some of them are they're Japan exclusive. I think maybe one of them was localized. I don't really remember, but yeah. I didn't play it, so you go and didn't play. It's just as easy as that. Okay, so no, I'm looking at the list. All of the weird ones are in the start. We can't have like that. I'm controlling the situation too much. Let's just get straight into it. I'm stalling for time. On purpose, I'm putting. Why does Ocarina want to be? Okay, Majora's wants to be first, so we'll just go straight into Majora's. It's just that I didn't really want to go into it, but let's do it. So, Majora's Mask. Didn't play it. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Majora's Mask. For me, it's I just have such a strong love for Majora's Mask. You know, like I feel like you're either an Ocarina person or you're a Majora's Mask person. I grew up with Ocarina even more than Majora's, so like Ocarina for me is also, you know, my childhood game. It was my favorite game of all time. Majora, it just has that edge. There is that, you know, the dark, gritty feeling, but it's also really like, it's good if you like to collect stuff, and I love to collect a lot of stuff, you know, and you can collect all the masks, and that has a good payoff, and it's, you know, it just has a lot of atmosphere. It feels it's the opposite of what a modern game is, I think, because modern games, they feel too curated. They're too perfect. There are particles in the air. Everything is just, there is no imagination, I believe. But Majora's Mask feels like it's like imagination in one game, if that makes sense. And I love all the characters. The music is probably maybe the best in the series, I think. Yeah, I just love it so much. To be honest, I'm going to put Majora in S. I'm just going to put it straight there. I couldn't not put it in S. It's going to be hard not to put every game in S, but yeah. It's the first it's the first ranking, but it is the first. It has to be S, okay? Don't overthink it too much. That's what I'm saying to myself. Okay, now I'm going to follow the strict rule of going from the first one to the last one. I'm not going to be stalling anymore. So we're going straight into Oracle of Seasons. Okay, so Oracle of Seasons. No, I have played it. I'm just going to put it there while I talk about it. Oracle of Seasons is a Game Boy game. So in many ways it feels limited because of that, but I have to say that it's really good to be limited in that way, both the seasons and ages. Seasons I like a lot because obviously you have the 4 seasons that change the environment, and it's just such a fun concept. I actually wish they played around with that more in the later years, like in a new game. That would be really cool. And yeah, no, I like it. It's not the kind of game that I go back to really often, but it's still actually really good. It's the kind of game that is like, it is underrated. I think when you actually play it, you will feel like it's way more modern than you expect, just because it looks kind of flat, right? Like, I don't know. So I would actually put Seasons. So I think Seasons is a C or a B. Because I kind of want, like, I kind of want the ages and seasons to be indifferent. So I'm not going to tell you which one I prefer. I am going to put it in C, I think. There we go. It's in a C. It's C. I'm sad, but it's okay. It's fine. It's good and the bad. It's a bit kind of, flat in a way. I don't know why I keep calling it flat, but it doesn't feel like a grand adventure, clearly. I think that's kind of obvious. Okay, we have the next one. Are you ready for Cadence of Hyrule? So, Cadence of Hyrule, in my opinion, is not a Zelda game at all. I mean, they took the license and put it into something else. I know it feels like a Zelda game because of the music and the characters and all of that, but it's not a Zelda game. It's good though, it is good. I liked it. It's kind of difficult. Even for me, I'm a musician, but it almost feels like they didn't really make it for musicians because it's not really that much on the beat. It's just slightly off, but I think it belongs in a C just because of the other games. If not, I enjoyed it. I would play it again. Good and the bad. The good and the bad, the good and the bad. That's really how I feel. That's how I feel, and that's what we're going with. So another spin-off game. We're going straight into Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. That's the name, right? Suddenly started to second guess myself. Age of Calamity? Yeah. I think so. If not, let me know in the comments. Age of Calamity is a Warriors game. So also, again, not a official Zelda game. Even though they tried to say that it was in the timeline. But then, if you played the ending, you know what I'm talking about. That was, yeah. The ending was really lame. But that's not neither here or there. Age of Calamity is actually really fun. I'm not like usually a big fan of Warriors games, but I got really addicted to it. I wanted to collect everything. I wanted to do all the abilities, all the characters, all the stages. And yeah, I was really like surprised by it. But then again, it's not, maybe it actually is a B. Am I going to be a bit blasphemous? It's not a Zelda game, but I want to give it the flowers it deserves because I think they did such a good job with it. Yeah. I'm going to give the underdog a bit of a chance for once. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's go to the next one. Let's see here. Oh, I've been dreading this one. It's so fresh. I literally played it like 2 months ago. I don't know. It's a bit too fresh. So I'll put it here for now because I don't want to hold it. So Echoes of Wisdom. The first time you play a Zelda, which I love. That we get finally a female lead in a Zelda game. That's amazing. I think the game was really inventive. I actually liked the system. So my biggest problem with this game was that I feel like there was the soul was lacking for some reason. And I'm a very a person that's kind of in touch with my emotions, I guess. I feel things really the way I like a game is if it makes me feel something more than the mechanics and blah 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 and the graphics. And I need to I need to feel the emotion, the environment, the atmosphere. And I was so happy to see the Zoras come back, the actual Zoras, and to see even the Deku Scrubs and all of the characters that I love was in this game. Even Jabu Jabu was in the game. That was mind-blowing for me. I really liked it. But the problem was that in the end, I was left with a feeling where is the soul? And I think it's because everything can be copied, right? So everything can be, everything can be copied. You can produce it as Zelda. And when you can copy everything, everything becomes like a little play thing. They don't feel real. They're not integrated. The characters are not integrated. And if you think about it, there are almost no really big enemy or thing except the bosses, because you're supposed to be able to copy everything. So in the end, I'm just left with did I even play that game? I think it was really good, but did I even play it? So sadly, Echoes of Wisdom, I'm really sad because I believe me, I thought it was amazing. The amount of just work and also the amount of respect for the people that love Zelda was just really, amazing. They put everything, they put their kind of heart into it, I think. But I don't know, they're missing the soul, So it's a C, and that felt weird for me because I think I'm the kind of person that would defend Echoes of Wisdom, because I wouldn't like to talk bad. It's the newest ones. You don't want to be it's not that good, because then you're basically saying the newest Zelda game is bad. So then we have the next one. And while I have a think about where it goes, I'll have a coffee break. I don't know. F. It has its own house. It is a CDI game. And to be honest, I haven't actually played it that much. I have played it a bit, but not on original hardware, obviously. It's really interesting, actually. It's really funny, but it's just obviously bad. We don't need to talk about it. We know it's bad. Do you want me to make a video and talk about how bad it is? Everyone knows. It's just obvious. So let's move on. Okay. Wow, we got both of these games almost right after one another, you see? Best friends, you see, like that. This is Link's Awakening. And Link's Awakening actually isn't a friend of Echoes of Wisdom, because Link's Awakening is a very old Game Boy game. It has no relation to Echoes of Wisdom, except that it's, I believe, when it was remade by the same team, and therefore has the same art style, basically. The thing is that Link's Awakening is made by people that know soul and they know atmosphere, and Link's Awakening has a lot of atmosphere. Even I don't know if I'm going to talk about mainly the Switch version or the Game Boy version, but both of them have a lot of atmosphere. The Ballad of the Windfish, the song, is one of the most beautiful songs in all of Zelda. And it's just really, really nice. It's just a really nice game. It's just so emotional. The story is great. The characters are great. It's a good game. It's not my favorite Zelda game, but it's a really, really good game. Where do I put this? I'm just looking down to look at the other games. Where do I put this? Oh, it's somewhere here. It's somewhere here. Yeah, I think I'm putting it there. I think so. Yeah, I'm sad, but I think it's correct actually. The dungeon design is really good as well, so I could have put it higher, but yeah, I think that feels good for me. So the thing is that I am not ranking them here, you see. So like, it's not like I'm saying that, you know, if you really want me to, I could do like that, but I'm not doing that because that's going to be too hard for me. It's already hard enough. Oh, it's already hard enough. Okay, so here we have Four Swords Adventure, and this is sadly going to be put here because I just haven't played it. It's really hard to play. You need the GameCube. You need all of that. I already know though it's not like my kind of game. It looks fine, but it's not. That's not what I'm after with the Zelda games. You know, I'm not after kind of arcade fun. I'm after a story. You know, a grand adventure. I want to get the Triforce. I don't want to do. I don't know what they do in that game. I don't actually know, but yeah, it's gonna be there. If not, just based on my impressions of the game, I would put it in C, I think. But then again, I can't judge it without trying it, can I? So let's go to Breath of the Wild. Oh my god, no, I'm not putting it there. Don't worry about it. It's just that I need to hold it somewhere before I start talking about it. Okay, so let's think. Breath of the Wild is really hard. It's really one of the hardest games to talk about. It's like the most beloved game. Most people have it as their favorite. Like, of course, Tears of the Kingdom now. Some people have different opinions, but for me, when I played Breath of the Wild, I was like blown away by it. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was in a way, just the way that they bring in all of the love that I have for the Zelda universe, the music, the way it all comes together. I thought it was really, really beautiful. But then it ended up kind of lacking in tying it all together, I think. You know, the game is amazing. As a game, it's a 10 out of 10. As a Zelda game, which is kind of what that's my love, you know, that's as a Zelda game, it's, to me, it doesn't have exactly the same feelings. I don't have the same feeling towards it. It feels more like a sandbox. It almost feels like, oh, it's like a fun game. You can do a lot of things, but it doesn't have the connection, the story. The music is good. It's really actually beautiful, but it's just not that much of it. And I don't know. I never really thought about it. Okay, so it's not an S. That I actually know. For me, it cannot be an S. It can be, but people would. Am I doing that? Yeah, I am doing that. Wow. Could you imagine putting Age of Calamity and Breath of the Wild in the same list? Because when I played it, I didn't want it to end. I loved it so much, and I played it twice now, and I didn't want it to end, but when it ended, I feel kind of like hollow. The experience of playing it was like it shook my world, but yeah, kind of like afterwards, the feeling I have towards it and the way I look at it is not the same. It doesn't have that emotional connection, I guess. So for me, yeah, it has to be a B. It's really amazing. It's an amazing game. Let's not get it twisted. Link's crossbow training. I mean, it's a really good game, but it's also really cursed. So let's just put it in the toilet category. it's cursed because like, why would you make that? Why would you make a game like that? Just to sell the Wii thing, the plastic thing for the Wii, but it's a good game, but it didn't really need to exist. And when you're up against, if I put like things like Echoes of Wisdom in C, I cannot put Link's crossbow training in C as well. So it's in the toilet category. I'm sorry about it, but someone has to be there. Someone has to be the toilet sometimes. Put that on a t-shirt. Someone has to be the toilet sometimes. Zelda, Oracle of Ages. So, Oracle of Ages is, so the thing with that game is that you can go back and forth in time. So in seasons you have like the 4 kind of worlds, but in Ages you have 2. The difference is that the difference between the time is a lot bigger than the difference between the seasons in the end of the day. I think if I remember correctly, Ages being the less popular game, I think it's a bit harder than Seasons. But I actually like it a bit more. It's really it's similar to Seasons, but I think maybe the atmosphere and the story is maybe a bit stronger. And I like the time mechanic a lot, just because it changes the land so much, and there are so many, you see kind of what happens from when you go back in time and you go forward in time again. You see like what happened to the people and how did the society evolve and that stuff. That's really cool. That's really creative. Yeah, so I will put it in B, just to give Seasons and Ages a different tier. Normally I would actually put them together, just to be clear, but I want to make the list a bit of, add the sauce, to the list. Yeah, so okay, so just a disclaimer, I'm trying to spread out, like to not put too many things in S. So that's why I'm not like, I haven't even put anything in B yet. No, in A yet. And I have talked about Breath of the Wild. So I'm just trying to be a bit more conservative with my love, to really feel how do I feel? Like, what do I love the most? And I had to say that before Ocarina of Time, because this is really difficult. So just a quick story of my relationship. So Ocarina of Time kind of saved me growing up. Like, growing up for me was, I had a difficult time, and Ocarina of Time was just the world that I could escape in. I imagined myself being a Link. Like, I would play every day and pretend that I was in like the water temple and the forest temple. I had my dad make a sword for me. He made a bow and arrows. Like, I was completely in love with everything in Ocarina of Time. And then a bit later, I played Majora's Mask, and suddenly, like, my feeling towards, Ocarina of Time kind of faded a bit, just because I loved Majora's Mask so much more. And for a long time, I would say that Majora's Mask was like the best Zelda game. And then recently, of course, I played Ocarina of Time like, 7-8 times, but I just had a recent playthrough. How long was it ago? I think it was like a few months ago, actually. And of course, I played the 3D version as well. But when I played it again, I kind of saw why I loved it so much the first time. And now that I'm talking about it, I kind of have to put it in S, because I think they're equal for me. I cannot choose one of them because they represent two different sides. Ocarina of Time is more centered. It's of course more original because it was the first time they used the characters and the graphics and all of that. And it has an overall, like, it's the definition of a Zelda world. It's Hyrule. It's it has like everything that kind of became a staple. Maybe Link to the Past sort of did some of that first, but for me, Ocarina of Time did it first. Yeah, and then you have like the Forest Temple and the temples in the Water Temple, the Shadow Temple. The dungeons are amazing. Yeah, so S tier together with Majora's Mask. It's fair. I haven't used S tier much, so I'm allowed. Perfect timing. Like, I don't need to use S tier this time. Let's just say that. So Phantom Hourglass. When it came out, I thought it was really kind of amazing because having, you know, that experience on a DS, like a handheld experience, was really special. And I don't mind the controls. I actually like the stylus. Like, I don't mind using the stylus. I don't mind the graphics. I don't mind anything like that about the game. Temple of the Ocean King is what I mind. Temple of the Ocean King sucked. It sucked back then and it sucks now, and that's the scary part. Like, I don't even have like nostalgic feelings for it. It's I see it still as something I hate. You know, I still hate the Temple of the Ocean King, and it's one of the reasons why I've only played Phantom Hourglass twice, because I don't want to play it again. Because of that, it's really so boring. It's the same dungeon over and over again. It's really kind of hard actually with the time management. I don't like it. But sailing in Phantom Hourglass is pretty great. Yeah, so I will put it in D, because someone has to be in D, and I cannot with a good conscience say that Echoes of Wisdom and Phantom Hourglass is the same tier, because it's not. But still a good game though. Yeah, still a good game. And then we have Spirit Tracks. So basically, this is the sequel to Phantom Hourglass, also on the DS. Same graphics, same style, but now you are in a train instead of in a little boat. I think that Spirit Tracks is a better game because the I don't remember the name now, but the repetitive temple, the Temple of the Ocean King in Spirit Tracks, is better. It's way more fun. It's more varied. It's not so challenging. It's a different kind of style. And I love music in the Zelda games, and this one is centered more around music than Phantom Hourglass. So in that way, I prefer it. It's just better. It's more streamlined with the train tracks. Many people find it very like finicky, you know, with the flute. They have to like blow into the microphone. I'm fine with stuff like that. Like, I can deal with that. Like, that's not going to ruin my experience. What ruins my experience is Temple of the Ocean King, you know, but not struggling to play a pan flute. It's fine. So, see, it goes, and I feel good about that. So this part here, I feel actually quite confident with now that I'm looking at it. This part here, I feel sad about this one, and I feel sad about this one, and the rest I feel okay with. But we have to move on. Oh no, so many hard ones. It's Skyward Sword. Okay. So, if you remember what I said about Echoes of Wisdom, that it feels a tiny bit without soul in a way, like a bit flat almost. In some ways, it feels like it doesn't have that like atmosphere. That's kind of how I feel about Skyward Sword. I think Skyward Sword, like the motion controls, I don't think they were so hard to make work, but I also didn't really find it to be that fun. Usually I really like motion controls, actually. I could defend the Wii any day, because I think people have misunderstood the Wii. You know, you don't use your whole hand, and it's not like that. Like, it's really small. So I would defend the Wii and the motion controls. But I just think the way they did it in Skyward Sword, it wasn't that fun, actually. And But I have a lot of love for it at the same time. You know, it did a lot of nice. The story is really nice. The love between or the relationship, friends or not friends, between Link and Zelda is really nice. The dungeons are quite good. But there's just something very. It's almost like Mario-like in a way. I don't know why I feel that because I love Mario games, but Mario is more. It's more like kind of cartoony, very kind of like polished, fun, colorful. But Mario doesn't always have a lot of atmosphere, you know? And that's how I feel about Skyward Sword. It's really almost makes me feel like it's made out of like, I don't want to say Legos, but I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but it feels really curated almost, you know, like really, here is a ledge and here is that. And there's no feeling of like mystery, maybe. But at the same time, the good things, the side quests, I really like them. They're really fun. I really like, as I said, like the dungeons for the most part. I don't like that the overworld is sectioned into almost like levels. That's actually really bad now that I'm thinking about it. That's kind of horrible. Why would you do that in a Zelda game? You know, like you have to fly down into a section. They're not connected. I didn't think about that. I hate that. That's so annoying. I got really angry there for a second. But yeah, I think I have convinced myself that Skyward Sword, wow, that's so low for Skyward Sword. It's a C. Is that really? Yeah, I think that's correct. Wow. Because many people see it as their favorite one. But it is good. I really like it. I was disappointed with it, I think. I think that's the main thing. And I just have to go with my gut feeling. I'm feeling sad. I want to cry, but that's what we're doing. We're doing that. It's okay. Okay. Oh, I see. It's another S. I mean F. CDI, you have your house. You belong there. Let's see if we can find you a friend, but I don't think we can. Yeah, not much to say. I'm just gonna skip to the next, to the Picross Twilight Princess thing. I've never played that. Almost don't know what it is. Well, I know what Picross is, but not a Zelda game. Let's move on. Triforce Heroes. So the 3DS game. Triforce Heroes is such a disappointment of a game. I like, you have a new 3DS game and it feels like a party game, and playing it by yourself. I know it was maybe meant to be played together online, but playing it by yourself, controlling them, it was just not fun. I felt almost like I was like struggling through it. The main the town, or it's not an overworld, but the town is cute. There's a cute story, like not story, but cute kind of concept there that I don't mind. But it's not a game that I don't think I will ever play it again. I played it once. It's almost the only game here. Let's just check quickly if it's the only game that I've only played once. Yeah, okay. This one I've also only played once, but I completed it basically, so it took a long time. Let's see. Yeah, this one, but it's new, so it doesn't matter. This one, but it doesn't matter because it's not really a game. Yeah, so you see, it's the only one that I've only played once of like sort of a main Zelda game. It's a spin-off in a way, but it's still a main one. So you go in the D. You are the toilet. Or the person in the toilet. Not the toilet, but the person down in the toilet with the hand sticking up. That's you, Triforce Heroes. And I don't want to look at you again. Minish Cap for the Game Boy Advance. So Minish Cap is actually the game it's the last game I played on my like to-do list of games to play, because most games I played when they came out, or like really, you know, early in my life. But the Minish Cap, I tried to play it, I fell off it. I tried to play it, I fell off it, and I never actually yeah, got that far in it until recently, and I finished it and I played it all. It finally kind of stuck with me. So Minish Cap is, not, I guess, developed by Nintendo, so you can kind of feel that in certain ways. It's a really, really good game. It's really beautiful. The art style is great. The music is nice. It's really inventive, and I really like actually the side quests, or the puzzle, not the puzzle, but like the collecting all of those. What are they called again? Yeah, they're like half of a thing, and you like this. yeah. I don't know what they're called, but you collect those. That I think is fun. It's really fun to become small. There's a lot of nice dungeons. But it's not like it cannot be one of the greatest games, just because I think it's missing a bit of, it's also missing a bit of that atmosphere, I think. And there's something about also the sound of the GBA that I just don't like that much. The sound card, or the sound system that they use, I don't like it as much. So it kind of rubs me the wrong way. But I thought it was way, way, way better than I expected. And it's definitely one of it's a really solid Zelda game, that's for sure. But it's just not like my favorite. In general, of course, the top-down ones they're not like my favorite. Since I grew up with Ocarina of Time, it was my first game. I don't have the same connection, but still, really good. It's a B. It deserves to be a B. I think so. The original Legend of Zelda. So the original one, obviously, it created a blueprint. It's shocking to see how old it is. It's hard to talk about because it's not like a game that I want to play all the time, because it's not that fun. And even for an NES game, you can kind of, they got kind of more detailed as time went on. So I think it's kind of missing, it's missing that late NES evolution, I think. But yeah, it created everything. It is the grandpapa of the Zelda series. So, I mean, it's kind of hard not to give it some praise. But yeah, I think it goes in B. Or maybe it does go, because I feel weird about having it over Skyward Sword. No, it needs respect. I'm gonna give it respect. I feel weird having Ages over. It's also strange that I don't have anything in A at the moment. I do know some games that are going to be in A, I can already tell, I think. Yeah, I just need to go with my gut. I can't do anything better than that. Okay, here we have Wind Waker. Wind Waker was, so if Ocarina of Time was like my child, like a little baby boy game, then Wind Waker was kind of like my when I got a brain game, when I finally started to develop a brain. And I got it for my birthday. I got a GameCube for my birthday. They gave me the game first and said, "Oh, you can play it at a friend's house." And I felt really happy, but also disappointed because I didn't have my own GameCube. And then they tricked me, and then my parents gave me a GameCube. And I was in love with Wind Waker. All of the thing, that people were hating on the art style, that just went over my head. I never thought about that for 1 second. That was not something that I didn't consider that. I just thought it was amazing, actually, which is funny coming from Ocarina of Time and a Majora's Mask, that I didn't think that it felt not realistic. To me, it was realistic. And it's really, really, it's a really amazing game. I think the sailing, now looking back, can be a bit repetitive. There are certain aspects that feel a bit unfinished. like that the third dungeon isn't really there, and and then you have the Forsaken Fortress, the stealth part, which sucks. So there are some downsides, but it's hard. It's really hard. But I think I have to say, I'm kind of sorry, Wind Waker, but I think you have to be an A. Like, no, it is amazing. Also, you're in your own category, beating Ganon in Wind Waker. It's really, 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 really good. It's like really one of my favorite games of all time. The music is amazing. But saying, like, if you ask me, would I rather play Ocarina of Time or Wind Waker again after playing both of them like 7, 8, 9 times, then maybe I would still do Ocarina of Time, because it's a tighter package, you know. And I think I'm talking about the GameCube version, even if this is a picture of the Wii U HD version. I just think, yeah, it's tighter, Ocarina of Time. Wind Waker has a lot of fluff, you know, with the fetch quests and all of that stuff. What's it called again? The Triforce quests. I don't remember what it's called, but you know, when you collect the Triforce pieces, yeah, it's just not that enjoyable. So it's okay to be an A. A is a really good tier. A is like amazing. You should be proud to be an A, Wind Waker. We have Hyrule Warriors, the first Hyrule Warriors, and I don't really know. I'm not going to distinguish if it's the definitive version or the 3DS version or the Wii U version. It doesn't matter. It's kind of the same game. Yeah, Hyrule Warriors, not as addictive as Age of Calamity, in my opinion, just because it's like, you feel like there's no end to the content. It's just so much content that you just feel like you will never really finish it. And when you won't finish it, then you kind of feel like there's no point in playing it. But you can play as a lot of different characters. There's a lot of nice stages and callbacks to the series, or the music has a lot of nice callbacks, and it's fun. The warrior style game is still fun, but it's just not that fun in the end of the day. So I kind of feel comfortable putting it in C. Again, crazy to see Hyrule Warriors together with Skyward Sword. That kind of doesn't make any sense. But again, I want to be harsh. I don't want to be like, oh, everything is an ass. Because if it's an ass, if I can be kind of honest here. Like this would be an ass. This would probably be an ass. This could have been an ass in a way. And then, yeah, you know, like I could put, I have a love for all of them for a reason, you know. Like I wear my Zelda pride really proudly. So, you know, yeah. So originally I thought this was Four Swords, but I see now that it is the Link to the Past and Four Swords together, and I'm just going to talk about Link to the Past. Let's pretend that both of the Four Swords games are here, because I haven't really played any of them. Triforce Heroes is like the closest to like a Four Swords style game. And I'm not into it. It's just not my thing. Okay, so let's go Link to the Past. Link to the Past is like the first real Zelda game. I know, even for me, even if it for me is Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past is the first real, where all of the identity came and the music came in, and you know, the Kakariko Village theme came from that game. So it's a staple. And it's really solid, you know. It's one of the best games on the Super Nintendo. It has everything. There are no flaws of A Link to the Past, which I think is really interesting. Again, it is a top-down game, so it's not what I gravitate towards. But I always enjoy my time with it. I think the graphics and the color palette, it's really nice. It has a lot of like mystery to it. It definitely has atmosphere. It doesn't feel kind of like kind of play like, similar to Echoes of Wisdom, for example. So I think, to be honest, Link to the Past, it deserves an A tier, which is, you know, it's really high, but it really deserves it. It's many people's favorite game of all time, and I see why. I get it. I really get it. I love the Super Nintendo aesthetic in general. Like, probably if I have to make my top 5 favorite games of all time, and I can only play like 2 Zelda games on that list, one of the games would be Donkey Kong Country 2 from the Super Nintendo. So like that era I have a strong love for, even if I wasn't born. It still is amazing for me, so I feel good about putting that in A. No, Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, so hard. Oh, it's so difficult. Oh. Okay. By the way, where is Twilight Princess? Where is Twilight Princess? They left out Twilight. Oh no, it is. Oh, the Picross one is supposed to be Twilight Princess, maybe. Do we think so? I mean, of course we have to have Twilight Princess in the list. What should we do? Should we either we can use this as Twilight Princess, or I was thinking, wasn't there something else that could have been Twilight Princess? Oh, crossbow training. No, I'm going to use Picross as Twilight Princess from here on out, and I'm going to put it straight in the middle. So, Tears of the Kingdom. So, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm really stalling. Like, I don't want to talk about it because it's hard. It's so hard. It's recent, and the debate of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom is too big. I can't really deal with that right now, you know. But so while I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, I was thinking that I never want to play another game ever. I just want to play this game. I was just thinking there's so much to do and so many cool, addictive kind of, you know, like systems that made me think that any other game would just feel like nothing. It would feel like playing Pac-Man in comparison, you know? It was just, it felt almost like more than a game. It feels like almost like another real world, if that makes sense, because there's just so much to do, so many things to collect, and you know, you have the Ultra Hand and putting things together. It's just a lot. Did I feel it was too similar to Breath of the Wild? Yes. And for me, the biggest reason is just that the music, a lot of the same tracks, and that's really sad for me. A lot of the same characters, the same villages, and this stuff is like my favorite thing is the villages, this music, and the atmosphere, right? So just a lot of similarities, but at the same time, the dungeons are way better, and some of them are actually amazing. The music in them is just just the best music, it just is such a grand game, you know. And I can say, the abilities you get from the like champions, I guess, in a way, they're for the most part worse than Breath of the Wild, especially Rivali's Gale, like the that makes you go high. I wish we had that in Tears of the Kingdom. I hate that we don't have that in Tears of the Kingdom, but you have the other wind thing, which was really good as well, so I like that. But I think in the end, I would have to say that I think Tears of the Kingdom is actually just an improvement of Breath of the Wild. I think it is better. I don't really want to play them together. Like, I don't want, like, I kind of almost want to just like take away one of them and just play one of them, because I feel like they mix together for me. The feeling of playing them sometimes can be exactly the same. Actually, in certain parts of the game, if you take away the abilities, it's just the same experience, you know, the same music and the same things you're doing sometimes. So I'm sometimes I I kind of just like take away Breath of the Wild in my mind and just say Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild is one game, and the way I play that game is through Tears of the Kingdom. So it gets an A. I think it's amazing, but at the same time, I'm still disappointed in it just because it is not what Zelda is to me, but still fantastic game. Fantastic. And this is also fantastic, and it has its own house. And the house is completed. Ooh, they're together. And an easy one, the next one. Here we're just rushing through the list. The next one is, I didn't play it. It's a Tingle game for the DS. And I don't really know which one this is. I get confused. And then we have Twilight Princess. So, since you now heard my story about like Ocarina of Time, Little Baby Boy, Wind Waker, I was a boy with a brain. I had a bit of, intelligence. And then Twilight Princess was when I started to become a bit more, I'm not going to say, I don't even know if I don't think I was a teenager. I wasn't that old. But, like I was more serious, and that kind of just hit in the perfect time for me. I thought it was like the coolest game in the universe. The trailer for that game, if you were around to see that, loading it up on slow internet, watching like frame by frame, it was, I watched it like as much as I could. There were no limits. If I was allowed to sit and watch it, I would watch it. And then the game came out and I was just, blown away by the scope and the emotion. And talk about atmosphere. Twilight Princess is like, has the strongest atmosphere, I think, together with Majora's Mask, almost of any game. No, okay, let's have a look at them. Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess, I think maybe. Again, the Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, yes, they have extremely strong atmosphere, but it also feels, in a weird way, I don't know, it feels like more empty, maybe. It's hard to explain. Maybe it's just my nostalgia. I think it's my nostalgia, but it's okay. It's my list, and you can roast me if you like. I can take it because I probably kind of agree with you, But yeah, Twilight Princess, it has probably the best dungeons, or at least some of the best dungeons. It has a really, really cool world. It's also really empty, but it's just something about the graphics and the retro feeling of the graphics, that the textures are, low quality and stuff like that. That makes it feel more like my brain starts to imagine what the world looks like more than them showing me what it looks like. So, yeah, that's why I like the overworld. The story is strong. The characters are strong. Wolf-Link is a tiny bit, it's like a meh. Like Wolf-Link for me is a C character, if that makes sense. It has a lot of good things and some not so good things. And what else do I think about Twilight Princess? The music. Oh my god, the music. It's so good. Oh, also the music, by the way, let's give some flowers to Skyward Sword. The music in Skyward Sword is top tier. Probably, yeah, it's not my favorite soundtrack, but the music is an A of Skyward Sword. The music in Twilight Princess is an S. And Twilight Princess, I mean. And Twilight Princess is, for me, I don't know if you got it, but it's an S. It's just insane. And I cannot not put it in an S. I know that people found it to be like edgy, just to be edgy, but I disagree. For me, it's more, I don't know, it feels from its time, it feels in that era, and that I don't mind that. And it feels like someone that put a lot of passion into a game, and that's what I feel. I feel like there's a lot of, there's a lot of work on the atmosphere and the way you want the game to come across, and I just think it works really well. Okay, then we have another kind of hard game to talk about. So this is The Adventure of Link. That's the name of the game, right? Yeah, I think it's so I started to question myself. But yeah, Zelda 2. So Zelda 2 is, a side scroller. So it's very different from the other Zelda games, for sure. It's very difficult. It has good music. It did not maybe develop the genre that much, like the Zelda franchise, but there's some tracks there that they're quite iconic. It's actually a game that I have not yet completed, which is a bit like a blasphemy, but I find it to be hard. And of course I can go through with like save states, but I don't know. I haven't, it's the kind of game that I just haven't finished all the way, but I'm close to finishing it. So that's why I can still talk about it as I've really played it, because I've almost finished it. But I think it's good. I think it's really good. I think it is a C. I think it's a great game. I think it's underrated. I think people think it's kind of boring, but it's almost like a bit like a Dark Souls. Like it's a Dark Souls Zelda in a way, because it has that like try and try again nature, learn the combat, learn the enemies. Yeah, so it's kind of addictive in a weird way, even if I haven't finished it, but I still think that you should give it a go if you haven't, because it is worthwhile. Definitely worthwhile. Probably for me almost more fun than the original one to play, but I think the original one is still better. It's a better game, and it's just more iconic, It is iconic. And then we have a little game I haven't played, so clearly I just haven't played anything with Tingle or anything with Four Swords. Because remember, this is 2 games in one here. Okay, and then we are at the final game. Are you ready for the little 3DS game here? A Link Between Worlds. A Link Between Worlds is sort of a reimagining of A Link to the Past. Or at least that's kind of what they say. I didn't feel that. I mean, of course, they have really like a strong connection and there's a lot of similarities, but I think A Link Between Worlds is definitely its own game. Definitely. Very much so. It has that kind of mechanic when you can merge into the wall and it becomes like a more 3D perspective. And it has this interesting system that you can do the dungeons in any order. You can you don't get an item in the dungeons. You have to like rent them in a way, or sort of buy them, rent them. And a lot of these things are probably what inspired Breath of the Wild. There's this more kind of open way of doing the game. And this aspect I don't love as much. That's maybe a bit controversial, but I don't love as much the idea that you can do anything in any order, because I feel like they're not telling me the story, that like I have to this is kind of going against what I've been saying the whole time, because I love it when my mind can make up things, but I don't need to be told like what is going on, but I would like them to I would like like in environmental storytelling, right? Like I would like the environment and kind of where I'm being led to be the one telling me the story. And A Link Between Worlds, you are just free to do whatever you want, and I don't like it as much, but the game is really good, and it's really good, and it's really fun, and it's really fun to collect. What do you collect again? You collect those like some octopus things, right? Like the octopus, they're not octopi. They're like babies, I think, right? Like animal babies, and you collect them, and that's really fun. And what else about A Link Between Worlds? Yeah, another thing I don't like as much is when you have to rent the weapons. Again, it's like I want to get the weapon in the dungeon. I don't know if it's because I'm nostalgic for that, but I want a reward. I want something that like drives me forward, right? And you don't get that. But I think the game is just so solid. I remember playing it and just had such a great time playing it. So it's hard to not appreciate it for that. because it's just so solid. It's probably, like, in many ways one of the most solid games that they have on the console, or no, of the Zelda series, not on the console. I think I will put it in A, actually, because it's just so solid. It's such a good game. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. I think I have my list. I'm a bit worried, but I think I have my list. So let's go. So the top tier is Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, and Twilight Princess. That feels correct for me. The A tier is Wind Waker, A Link to the Past, Tears of the Kingdom, and A Link Between Worlds. It does not feel right that... Am I allowed to change my list now? No, I'm going to keep it just for consistency, but this could have been like that. I'm not... This really could have been like that. Yeah. And then we have the third tier, which is Link's Awakening, Hyrule Warriors, weird, Breath of the Wild, oh my god, that's so crazy, Oracle of Ages, The Minish Cap, and Zelda 1. And then C tier, we have, with the fourth tier, we have Oracle of Seasons, Cadence of Hyrule, Echoes of Wisdom, Spirit Tracks, Skyward Sword, Hyrule Warriors, and Zelda 2. Feels correct. I don't feel so bad about that. And then D tier, the toilet tier, the toilet hand. They are... Oh, I get my mail bouncing up and down. Sorry about that. You can see, you can... Hopefully you didn't notice how many unanswered mails I have. Anyways, the toilet tier is Link's crossbow training, which is not even a game. It could even, I'll make one change. Let's invite crossbow training into the CDI games, because it's cursed. It's not. It's a really fine game, but it doesn't need to exist, and neither does the CDI games. So you can come here. That's where you belong. So in the toilet tier, we have Phantom Hourglass and Triforce Heroes. And I think this one really deserves it. And this one, can always be higher, but it's okay. And then we have the CDI games and Link's crossbow training, having a good old time in their own little house where they are locked in and we cannot find the key and they will never get out of there and we don't want to look at them anymore. That's where they belong. So bye-bye to you, and that's fine. And then the games I didn't play are obviously those games. And that's the list, that's the list. I did it. I've ranked my Zelda games. So for me, this is more like it's more like I've made up my own mind, more than I'm telling you, which is kind of creepy because I don't even know if I feel this way, but that's how I feel today. And I think it's not, maybe I will not stand by this forever and ever, but I think I can stand by it for now. Yeah, Wind Waker, you need to be an S, but it's okay. Wind Waker, you can be an A together with Link Between Worlds. And Breath of the Wild is in B. And Skyward Sword is in C. Whoa. And then Triforce Heroes is in D. That's fine. Yeah, so that's my list. I really enjoyed doing this. I really appreciate you watching this. If you watched it all the way through, I love you, basically. I don't know who you are to do something like that, but I hope these kinds of videos can be something that you just chill with, maybe have in the background a bit, just like relax with, or just maybe you're interested to see someone's ranking of the games. But yeah, I'm really thankful. If you would like to see more stuff from me, please subscribe or follow, and comment, roast me, tell me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm right, write your list, tell me anything that you feel that you have in your heart. You tell me, not anyone else, just tell me, okay? It can be our secret, even if it's in the comment section. And yeah, I'm just really happy that you watched it, and I'm happy for it. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully. I'll do something else, I don't know what yet. Bye bye.